So this is a brief overview of the Italian Renaissance. Between the 15th and 16th centuries, a new Renaissance spread across Europe and marked a transition from the Middle Ages to a newer age of modernity. The Renaissance means the rebirth. The period marked a cultural revival and a renewed interest in classical antiquity and the cultures of ancient Greece and ancient Rome. The Renaissance began in Tuscany and centered in the beautiful city of Florence. At the time, Florence was a powerful city-state. It was economically and politically key to the Italian region as it provided banking and trade for European monarchs. Florence also saw the rise of a new merchant class, which hadn't really been seen in Europe before. After landing in Florence, the Renaissance then spread to Venice. Venice was the Stato da Mare, and it was part of its own empire. It controlled trade and shipping throughout the Mediterranean Sea, especially with Europe and the East. Venice had gained a lot of power as a state after Marco Polo's exploration through his voyages, as well as earlier crusades by Christians. The Renaissance period also had a great influence on the Papal States, as well as Rome, and explored advances in painting, architecture, sculpture, literature, music, philosophy, science, maths, technology, and exploration. When considering the Italian Renaissance, it's vital to ask why it began in the first place. For this, there are 6 or 7 main reasons, as well as subsidiary reasons which we'll explore in later episodes. One of the main reasons for the Renaissance was the prime location. The city-states of Italy were set on the Mediterranean. This allowed easy trade access, which then inspired globalization and exchange. This was aided by advances in boat and travel technologies. Secondly, division. Italy, as we know it today, was actually a series of independent commercial city-states. Rivalry between these city-states bred innovation. Thirdly, Italy was a refuge of scholars. After the collapse of the Byzantine Empire in 1453, this was the remains of the Eastern Roman Empire, many scholars returned to what they saw as their homeland of Rome, the core of the original Roman Empire. They brought proper understanding of Greek and Roman study from Constantinople. Moreover, there was a leadership vacuum. The Holy Roman Empire had lost northern Italian power. So these self-governed city-states, such as Venice and Florence, meant that people were trading and there was much trade liberalisation. The Catholic Church was also a factor. Although there was much political and religious upheaval, which we'll discuss later on, many great thinkers were in fact united by the Roman Catholic Church. Beyond this, China and the East. Trade routes, primarily the Silk Route, terminated in Venice and Genoa. This led to an exchange of materials and ideas. It's also important to recognise the increase in humanistic values which emerged in the Renaissance. This allowed for more pleasure in the everyday, as well as exploration, and a faith in man's capacity and capabilities. In the medieval ages, it had been seen more as life being a test for the afterlife, whereas in the Renaissance, people were encouraged to explore their current lives. Last but not least, it is key to acknowledge the disasters that Europe had been through: the Great Famine, the Black Death, and many crop and harvest failures. But out of the negative, it would appear that human creativity flourished.